how do you pronounce mountain?
Oh, okay.
Mountain?
You don't say the T?
You don't say the T?
Mountain? No.
That
Why?
is something that I did notice when I moved to Utah. No one says the T in mountain.
Oh, I hate it.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yes.
Mountain?
This
It's just
is
a mountain.
bad.
No, pause.
But-
Wait. No, is that... It doesn't mean I have an accent.
It's one of my favorite things about him and I's relationship is there was constant communication because feelings change, people change. Like leading up to the mission is the most stressful, like most hard and emotionally draining time. That's so funny. My first job in Utah was just working at a soda shop for a year.
Him, dude. I told you. Okay.
I've always wanted to work at one, honestly.
It is the funnest job you will ever have.
It
So
looks
fun.
fun.
It is the most amazing job.
Like with the pump.
Yeah,
I
and
wanted
everybody
to.
wants to come in and say hi to you because they think you'll give them free drinks. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Hey guys, welcome to the Third Hour podcast where we talk about real topics within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm your host, Mimi Bascom, and I'm joined by our guest host again. This is Tautai. How are you,
Co-host.
Tautai?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me
We're
again.
so excited to have you.
I'm always happy to be here. Third hour is dope, man.
You wear
I
the
love
same
it.
outfit every time you're here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I wasn't aware of the wardrobe switches that we were doing today.
You know what? We film all in one day, and I just have to be extra and change my outfit every time. But
What's funny is
I
I-
wasn't prepared.
What's funny is I totally would have.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? I just didn't think about it.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
let me know
my
next
bad.
time.
It's my bad.
That's not you. It's all good.
And we're here with our guest, Mia Schaus, right?
Yes.
That's how you pronounce it. Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. So cool.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 19. I moved to Utah when I was 16. I'm training to be a hair extension specialist at JZ Styles Academy, and I'm so happy to be here.
Yay! Well, we love that you're here, and we're going to talk a little bit about being a missionary girlfriend. We'll talk about like Utah culture since you didn't like grow up here and you're living
Yeah.
in Utah County, which is like the epitome of Utah culture. But I love that you're a hairstylist. Your hair is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And I wanted to ask you just like what kind of got you interested in that?
So I have like wanted hair extensions my whole life, and when I was 16, my parents finally caved. Because when I was 16, I got COVID and I lost a lot of my hair, and so that's I think what kind of helped my mom come to an understanding of like, okay, she lost a lot of her hair. Like, let's look into this because hair extensions are crazy expensive, especially in Utah. And so we looked into it, and she finally caved. And since like I got my first set of hair extensions, I've been in love. And so my goal with like getting into the hair industry is just to help people like going through hair loss. And obviously I love color too, but I will probably be specializing in extensions.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So my girlfriend's also a cosmetologist. I
Yeah.
heard extensions, that's where the green is at.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
But like she's been telling me all about like your guys' industry and stuff. And it
Yeah.
goes like way into depth. Like half colors, full colors. Like she just told me about her balayage she did yesterday and stuff like that. See, I know my stuff, man. Like, I know my
Dude,
hair.
good job.
Yeah, but like even like to the point where like you go into the history of like combing your hair and like how combs have like evolved over the years and stuff, and like the natural oils from your hair come down. Like this whole hair industry is like, it's like no joke.
Literally.
It's crazy.
It's like
so fun.
science for real.
No,
and then like there's a
100,
whole business side of it
100%.
too. Like if anyone's going to hate on the cosmetology industry, like don't even start because
No.
like I
No.
respect you guys so much.
Seriously. No
And I
doubt.
feel like
Thank you.
some people think too it's like a vain thing or whatever, but I feel like it's so emotional and it's like
It
a
is.
part of you. Like do you want to speak to that?
I mean, people like they associate, well, I don't know how to say that correctly, but when people look in the mirror, I feel like one of the first things that they notice is their hair. At least I did, especially when I was starting to lose it. And so it is the biggest confidence booster. Even now when I take my hair extensions out sometimes to like let my hair breathe, I'm like, I look like a little miniature Dora the Explorer. Like,
Hey, don't hate on Dora though.
I
She's
love Dora.
valid.
She's
Dora's her.
beautiful.
She's her, dude.
She's the best. But I look in the mirror and I notice that my self-esteem does drop a little bit.
Yeah.
So hair is really such an incredible thing. It's why I love the industry. You could be so creative with it, and it's the biggest confidence booster. And also there's so many different types of like hair loss, and there's so many like sicknesses coming out now, and even COVID. Like you wouldn't think that like COVID hair loss is a thing. It was the biggest thing. I had bald spots all over my head. I didn't want to go to school. My senior year of high school, my hair loss was like so bad that I actually went online. So I tried out so many different types of hair extensions, and so I just knew so much about it, and that's when I decided to like get in the hair industry. because I wanted to help people. Because being in high school and not having very much hair and like having to deal with that self-esteem issues with these like girls who have these long, beautiful hair, which probably is fake. I'm telling you now. Most girls that you see in Utah,
Word.
which Mimi's, yours isn't. I know yours is beautiful, but 90, I literally want to say like 80% of hair. It's probably fake.
I love it.
No, literally. You're probably right.
Yeah, my hair right now is about up to my shoulders. So this is.
So you're wearing extensions right now?
I am. Yeah,
They
I
look
have,
so good.
I couldn't even tell.
So pretty.
That's how.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No wonder they're really expensive. I won best hair in high school. So
Shut up. Did you really?
I did actually. So I'm
Okay,
also really
Tautai.
no. What she said is so true. Like so for men, like your hair is a very confidence booster. I'm looking really shaggy right now, but like when men get their hair cut and they get faded and they get lined up, like oh my gosh, like. It like makes you feel like you're a stud, you know, like you feel like you're him. So the hair is very, very important to anyone's self-esteem.
Totally. Let me ask you this too, because I feel like there's so many hair girls in Utah, especially Utah County. Like, why do you think it's such a popular profession here?
I think it's more flexibility. I remember on the first day of hair school, we do like icebreakers, and my teacher just flat out asked everybody in the class, like, why are you here? Why do you want to be here? And I want to say like 70 to 80% of the girls there said, I want to be a mom and this is a flexible job.
Yeah.
To kind of have, because think about it, there's like home salons, you get to make your own schedule.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people nowadays are specializing in things. Like I want to specialize in hair extensions. Some people will specialize in blonding and things like that. So there's just so many avenues that you could take. And also it does really well on social media. You see hair accounts everywhere and people do so many fun things with it. So I really think that that's the reason why.
I love that so much. And I totally agree with you. I know when I was going into the social media industry, that is a real thing I considered of like, I want something that's going to be able to be flexible when I have kids. And now I have a baby and it's like I get to work from home and be with him. And not to say that that's the only way you can do it. But for me, like it was the perfect decision. So going along with that, I wanted to do something fun with you guys because I asked my audience, what are the most common jobs for the LDS girlies? And I want to see. I've got 10 that came up
mom on there,
repeatedly.
no?
Yes, I want you guys to try to guess and see how many you can get. So, stay-at-home mom, yes,
That's
that is
on the list?
It's on
How
the
many is
list. 10.
Okay. Let's try
So
to
you
keep
guys,
track of
you
this.
guys got
Okay.
one.
So we got one. Can you keep track for us?
Is this just for girls?
Is this
Just-
Utah girls or
just
just in
girls?
general? LDS girls everywhere. Like in the
LDS
US?
girls, I just asked LDS. But I feel like in Utah they're very prevalent, and this isn't like for high schoolers. This is like college age or like women.
Okay.
So yes, stay-at-home mom.
Hairstylist, I think is one of
Oh,
them.
nurse got to be on there.
Nurse or CNA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
You guys are killing this.
Okay.
Okay.
Isn't doctor's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
My fault. Okay.
Nurse's assistant, or no, sorry, dental assistant.
Yes.
Is that one of them?
Hygienist. Yeah.
Period.
You
Oh my
got
gosh,
it. You got it.
good.
I'm just thinking of my friends' jobs. I'm like,
Literally,
what are you guys doing?
The technology. No.
Social media.
No. Sorry, I'm not typing. My nails. The nail.
Yes,
the
nail
nail
tech.
technician.
Yeah, nail tech is on
Dang,
it.
that's a good
Nail
one.
tech. And you said
Fine.
social media. Yes.
Yes, okay.
There's kind of two different ones.
Oh gosh.
If you guys have there.
Oh wait, social media is like a job.
Social media is a category. There's two of them in here that fit in that.
Okay.
Podcaster?
No, it's influencer or like
Okay.
content
Influencer,
creation.
Okay. Oh, what? Okay. Content, and there's one more under that realm. Fitness.
No, it's
Oh.
kind of hard. I don't know if you guys will get it.
Uh,
It's a bit older than like Gen Z.
Yoga instructor? No, I'm not sure.
fitness is a big thing here.
Yeah,
It is.
Is it in the fitness world?
No.
Okay, give us a hint.
I can just tell you, it's honestly, it's kind of hard. I don't know if you'll
Okay,
get it.
go ahead.
Okay.
Being in an MLM, like selling like doTERRA.
MLA format? What did you just say?
MLM, like multi-level marketing. They're the ones that are like selling doTERRA or selling like the different products.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna get that.
Is there
Yeah.
one more? How many more are there?
Oh my gosh, how many? Let me check how many you guys haven't gotten yet. 1, 2.
Is summer sales one? I know that's not like a girl thing,
It's more
but I think
boy.
it's more
It's
boys.
more- I mean,
for
I know
sure.
girls that do it, but it's more boy.
Oh, you guys just have 2 left.
We're doing so good.
You
We
guys are
actually are.
killing
If,
this.
even if we stop now, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
But no,
80%.
we might as well go.
I'll tell you one okay.
Has anything to do with soda shop workers?
Okay, that was the bonus. That was the bonus. So I
got
have
the bonus,
LDS
baby.
girls,
I'm
but then I was
him.
gonna do it for
That is
teenagers. Soda shop.
Okay.
and Chick-fil-A.
That's so funny. My first job in Utah was just working at a soda shop for a year.
I'm him, dude. I told you. No, I'm fine.
I've always wanted to work at one, honestly.
It is the funnest job you will ever have.
It looks fun.
It is the most amazing job.
Like with the pumps.
Pumps, and
wanted
everybody
to
wants
do
to come in and say hi to you because they think you'll give them free drinks. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Right. And they're good price, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay, so was that the bonus? So we didn't get the last
That was the bonus
two.
one. There's still two more.
Okay.
Okay, I
One's
feel like
in
we
the
need to hit.
beauty industry. So I feel like it's all kind of
what
together.
about injector? Wait, no.
Phlebotomist? No, that's
Oh,
not it.
am I close?
Phlebotomist? What am I talking about?
Oh my
you're
gosh.
close.
I know.
What
It's
did
just
you
like the specific name for it, but it's esthetician.
Esthetician.
Like
Yeah.
I'm so
skin.
stupid.
Yeah.
Dude, I knew that.
No one was expecting you.
No, I knew that.
Okay.
Okay, and there's last one?
Last one, I'll tell you, if you go to BYU, this is like every girl's major, I feel like.
Econ? No. Actually, I'm not familiar with BYU.
Oh crap! I know.
Family
It's-
relations? No.
That's not far off.
Is it like like studying religion?
No. It would have been study
Associate's degree.
No, that is also true. I can tell you guys, being a teacher.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
I feel like
that's the most common job for.
it's one of them. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Oh wait,
wow.
I forgot there was one more too. But
Okay.
yeah, but teaching. I feel like every girl at BYU, they're like, I'm doing elementary ed,
Elementary
like,
education, yeah.
Oh my
which
gosh,
is
you're
so
so
respectable.
right. Oh my gosh, you're so right.
Mad props. I could never. Literally, like
No.
that is. We need good teachers. So no hating at all. Last one is being a photographer.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Oh my gosh!
That makes a lot of sense.
Dude,
right?
how did I not think of that? That's literally
Right?
so true.
I feel like so many, and like you look at these and they're all flexible. Like being
Yeah.
a hairstylist, like they're flexible. You work for yourself,
On
like you work on your
schedule.
own schedule. Someone, when they submitted a few, they said, does no one have real jobs? And that kind of triggered me because I feel like these are all
Ooh.
real jobs, but also like we choose to do these for people who work in this industry, like often is because they want to prioritize like their family and like, and that schedule. So these are real jobs.
No shot.
They
Good
definitely
stuff. So wait, we got like 80. We did 80, right?
Yeah, you
did a
guys
good
killed
job.
that. You guys killed that. That was fun. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Next thing we want to do with you is talk about being a missionary girlfriend. And we have an advice segment on our show where people write in or we find people talking about like problems they're having online. And we wanted to read this one and get your take on it.
Okay.
So Tautai, do you want to read it for us?
Yes. Okay. So this was sent in, like she said, from somebody. And she says, me and my boyfriend have been together for only 3 months. And honestly, he makes me the happiest girl. Cute. He said he loves me. And I said I love him too. 3 months and the L word. That's real love,
That's pretty
man.
quick.
That's pretty quick. That's
Pretty
pretty quick. When we talk about his mission, he sometimes brings up that I might get married while he's on his mission. And last night while we were with a group of friends, he mentioned that's why I'm not going to have a girlfriend on a mission because I don't want distractions or get Dear John'd. I love him, and honestly, I'd be willing to wait and casually date other people. I can feel that he feels strongly for me also, and I can't wait to spend the next few months with him until he leaves. He's 19 and I'm turning 19 in February. I wouldn't mind waiting for a guy like him, but I'm just worried that he won't wait for me. If that makes sense. He's told me that I'm not going to get married or in a relationship when he comes back. If she's not married or in a relationship when he comes back, they'd get together and start talking again. She wants to know if he would wait for me, if there's anyone who's going through similar situations or anyone that would give advice on what she should do. And yeah, that's what she's looking for advice.
Well, that's really awesome that she's willing to talk about that because it is a hard situation. So I think that for my missionary's name is Ethan. So I think for Ethan and I, the biggest thing that we did leading up to his mission was communicate. Him and I, it's one of my favorite things about him and I's relationship is there was constant communication because feelings change, people change, especially when things like this is coming up. Like leading up to the mission is the most stressful, like most hard and emotionally draining time for me, at least for me it was. And so Ethan and I communicated constantly about that. But I mean, if I had to give her any advice, one thing that Ethan and I did that really kind of secured our decision was we knew that we had a long drive one day and Ethan would always be like, let's just wait to talk about this. Let's wait. Cause now I know that he just needed more time. And we both said that we were going to pray about it. And we both prayed about it. And then we went to a family member's house of his. And on the drive back, we were like, okay, this is the discussion. And we had the discussion about it. And he was very open about his feelings. I was very open about mine. And by the end of the drive, we kind of came to the decision that we made about like me very casually dating while he's gone. And he was actually the one that initiated it. So I feel for the boyfriend when he's kind of saying things like, oh, you're not going to wait for me, because it's hard. Like, because think about it, like the girlfriend is sitting there kind of just going on with her life, and he is dedicating the next 2 years of his life for the Lord.
Yeah.
So, which I can only imagine the stress and emotional drain that has on him. But I think that the best thing in this situation that you can do is just communicate and talk about what you want and pray about it too, separately and together. I think that makes the biggest difference, because one, it creates kind of an emotional bond between you two, and two, it's just you can get answers from that. So that's why I think about that.
That is so great. Like, communication is key. It breaks my heart. Like, I don't know if this is the case, but in this, it sounded like that was the first it kind of came up was in a group setting.
That's
And
tough
I'm like,
well.
oh,
that's tough.
That is
Puts
really
everyone
tough.
on the spot.
So, yeah. So I think one-on-one communication is great, and like be
Yeah.
really open and honest. And obviously I haven't been in this situation, so I would love to hear more from you if you're open to talking about this. But so Ethan, first of all, like, how did you guys meet? I want to hear like that.
Ethan, you shouldn't be watching this, but if you are,
Shout
thanks
out.
for
He
serving
doesn't
the
know.
Lord.
I'm gonna surprise him and send him a little clip when it comes out.
Cute.
Beautiful. You
So
the man, Ethan.
cute.
Thanks for
Hi,
serving the
Ethan.
Lord. Ethan, you the man. You have a good one here. Where's he serving?
He's serving in the Dominican Republic. So he's far, which having a missionary out of the country is like another different story. Sending him a Christmas package, 5 pounds was almost, I think it was around $400.
I believe it. No,
pounds.
she's right.
Shut up.
She's right.
That's
Like,
crazy.
It's so expensive.
Insane. And I think we sent him like, he wanted protein. He's a big workout guy. So we sent him like protein, and I think I sent him a
man.
few letters, and that was about all that we could fit in that box.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
Yeah.
So you met
Nuts.
Ethan where?
So Ethan and our story is kind of interesting because I met Ethan technically it was through Snapchat. I hate saying it's through Snapchat, but
Hey.
it was through a friend who like told me to add him. So I had just gotten out of a relationship that had been really rough for me. And one of my friends was like, hey, there's a few people, we're all going to go hammocking. You know everybody except for this one guy. And so she's like, here's a Snapchat. Just start talking to him. It'll be okay. And so
And this is while you were in high school, I'm assuming? Okay, cool.
Here in
Yeah.
Utah? Or
Yeah.
but okay, cool.
So I started snapping him, and at first, guys, he knows this. I thought he was so weird. I was like, who is this guy? I was like, all he talks about is his muscles, and he just talks about working out, and like,
Sounds like a guy. Sounds like a dude.
I was like, dang, like, but it's fine because I wasn't necessarily looking for a relationship at the time. I'd just gotten out of one.
Yeah.
So I went on this hammocking. It kind of ended up being a date. There was 2 boys and 2 girls, but
You got set up, girl. You got
I
set
did
up.
get set up. But we went, and I just like, I thought he was really funny. I didn't think anything of it. We just kind of talked like old friends. And then after that, he asked me out, and he's like, I've heard you've never seen Stranger Things. And I was like, yeah, I haven't. And then he was like, you're coming to my house, and we're going to do a marathon. Like, so I went to his house one day, 2 p.m., and then I stayed until my curfew, which was 11:30. But when I tell you, it wasn't like a come over and watch a movie. Like, it wasn't like that. It was like, we talked for like all hours. Like, nothing happened between us. It was really just us like creating that bond. And
What
so
a gentleman.
yeah, he
That's
is awesome.
cute.
He's very respectful. In fact, when I went over there, I was a little nervous. I sat in the L portion of his couch, like in the middle, so he couldn't really sit next to me. I was like, looking back, I'm like, I'm the worst. But so we did that, and then I got sick after that. Like, I think it was strep or something. And so my ex-boyfriend came in contact with me again, and I kind of told Ethan, I was like, hey, I need to figure this out because it's not fair to him or you, like, if I don't have this figured out. So about 2 weeks went by. I like got over the sickness. We separated for a little bit, and then I ended things again with my ex-boyfriend, and then he had no idea, and then 2 days later, he's like, I really feel like we should go hammocking again. And so then we went hammocking again, but this time we shared a hammock, and it was so much fun.
Cute.
It was so fun. And then after that, we were inseparable. He lived down the street from me, which was so fun. And
that's
I
perfect.
started going to all of his football games, took pictures after every single
Hey.
game.
Ooh.
Was there. And honestly, like I think it took us like a month to start dating. And his thing was like, I just need to meet your mom. And so one Sunday he came over and he met my mom, and we were downstairs, and I was like, dude, you met my mom. And then he was like, and then he asked me there. He was like, "You're so impatient. You should have waited." He was
Cute,
planning
cute.
on it, but I was like, "No, I want to be able to tell people that you're my boyfriend." So that's kind of how I started dating. But
So cute. And so
That
was
is
that your
cute.
senior year or junior year?
so it was like end of junior year into senior year.
Okay. And so then did he leave on his mission like right after high school?
Yeah, so he left on his mission September. Oh my goodness, it's been so he hits his 6 months in February.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So it's
Next
like
month.
recent.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's
Wild.
fresh out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about like, you said you had that conversation in the car, and you came to the conclusion you're going to be dating casually while he's gone. And then is there any kind of like would you still consider him to be your boyfriend? And like, what's the expectation for when he gets home?
So that is something that in the very beginning I struggled with a lot, because especially once I kind of started not putting myself out there necessarily, but like once you start going on dates, you're like, do you call him my boyfriend, or like do you, so I call him my missionary to most people that I meet. Like, he's my missionary. It's like kind of a gray area because So to friends and family, like they consider him my boyfriend.
Right.
But like when I'm talking to people, I'm always very open and honest. I'm like, hey, I have a missionary now. I communicate with him every week. Like, I'll tell them absolutely everything. But yeah, I just call him my missionary for the most part.
And is there like a plan to when he gets home, you guys are going to get married, or is it almost just like open-ended? We'll see where it goes.
So we've kind of, in that car ride that we were talking about, we kind of came to the conclusion, like, God's plan and God's timing. That's what I felt like him and I both got out of praying about it together and separately. So the plan for when he gets home, obviously, like, I love him. He's my best friend. If all goes well and if that's what God has planned for us, then we'll get married, and I think we'll honestly get married pretty quick. If that's God's plan. Oh, totally. I am like, and we talk about it too. Like, still, him and I will be like, what's our timeline? Just because in the beginning I want to establish like my clientele like in a certain area, and he wants to like not live in that certain area. So we kind of had, but he actually recently called me and told me that he changed his mind. So he changed his college, so now he wants to come.
Oh my gosh.
So that he can live near me.
And that's like in Orem.
Yeah, so he wants to transfer to BYU, and he has everything that he needs to do so. Because I want to like stay in Orem area, like with my clientele, and not have to leave it. But yeah, so it was just kind of a crazy experience, like leading up to it. But I think just like prayer was the biggest thing, like just praying about it, and only time will tell how that ends, and how like that goes. But he also told me, he's like, I don't want to know. He's like, I don't want to know who you're going out with. I don't want to know anything about you dating, which I think is so fair. Like, keep him focused. But so yeah, I think we definitely do have plans to get married when he gets back, if that's in God's plan.
Oh, well, I'm
Love
so
it.
excited for you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this too, because I feel like that is such a common situation in our culture. But for people who are watching who may not understand, they may be thinking like, okay, well, you want to hopefully maybe get married to him when he gets back. What is the point of dating other people now while he's gone?
Okay, so I actually asked him that because he was the one who first initially brought up dating while he's gone. Leading up to that conversation, I was like, oh yeah, like we've been dating for this long, like I'm totally set. And he was like, I don't want to hold you back from anything. He's like, obviously, we both prayed about it, but we don't know what God has in store for us. And he said, I want to come home and I want you to be 1,010% sure in your decision. If you love me, or if I was just like an incredible lesson and memories in your life. And I was like bawling in this car, right? I'm sitting here like, you want me to date? What? But then as he kind of explained to me his reasoning, he's like, I never want you to feel like you're being controlled. I want to be able to focus on my mission. He's like, and whatever you do while I'm gone, this is your journey. He's like, this is not going to, your life. He didn't want me to revolve my life around him for the next 2 years. He wanted me to be able to grow and see who I was without him, because we had been dating for over a year before he left. He's like, I want you to go and make your own friends. And also we talked a lot about me having guy friends, and because when you have a boyfriend, you don't really have a ton of guy friends.
Yeah.
And, so he's like, I want you to go meet guys that, like, if you ever needed a blessing and your parents weren't around, like, to have them come and give you that blessing and experience dating. Cute. So he was, honestly, I could not have asked for a better conversation to have with him, like, and for him to be better about it. And I'm sure people tell me this all the time. They're like, well, he was just saying that. But from our conversation, obviously, like, him and I were the only two people that were there. And I really did feel like it was a very spiritual experience for us. It was really something that we came to a conclusion about. And he said, date casually, but date with intention. If you do date while I'm gone, like, do it to figure out if he's the man that you want to marry. Don't like, as in like, don't go out like making out and doing just all that.
Yeah.
I've heard that phrase so much recently.
Oh.
Is
it
scary.
coming back? Please no.
Did it ever leave? I don't know.
true.
I haven't been in Provo for a
man.
few years.
Oh my goodness,
Seriously.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel really good about it. Like the decision to date while he's gone and him having him out. But it's the one thing about my whole situation that no one really understands, and no one will ever, in my eyes, completely understand.
Right.
Because everybody has their own separate journey, like with it,
Right.
and so that's what I try to explain to people when I'm getting criticism about it, like through friends and things like that.
You get criticism from
Constantly.
like what kind?
Really?
If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, so it's come in all like kinds of ways. So some of it has been like DMs on TikTok because I post about Ethan quite a bit on TikTok. I've gotten DMs from girls being like, "What are you doing? Like, you had this perfect relationship before, and you're gonna screw it up with this happening." I've had girls that I've known communicate with me and contact me and be like, "What are you doing?" A lot of it is like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" Or I've been accused of cheating like so many times.
Pause.
Oh my god.
To the point where
That's a big accusation.
it is a big accusation. And there was one time where I emailed Ethan and I was like, "Hey, can you just like set out?" I had him email me and be like, "This is what I asked you to do while I'm gone," just so that, because I felt like I had to prove it
He
to
had
people.
receipts. She had to need receipts
Which
for
you
that.
shouldn't even need to.
You
Like
shouldn't.
That's
it's
my
not
thing.
Yeah.
And criticism, and then also like questions, especially from, I did have questions from family members, which I think is totally valid, because also when you have a boyfriend, it's not just your boyfriend. It's like Ethan created a very, very, very strong relationship with my family. And so I think for my family, it was definitely a little bit weird for me to kind of be like, "Hey, this is something that I'm going to try out. This is something I'm going to do," especially for my mom. I love my mom. She is the greatest person I know. But her and Ethan had a really strong relationship, and they still do.
That's good.
Oh, that is so
That's
sweet.
Yeah, and she was like, "I don't know how it do if you ever brought another guy back to her home." And I was like, "I don't know, but like, well, if we ever get there, we will get there, and we will go through it together." Like, but so like family members, there's been a lot of questions and certain things like that. But it's crazy because you really figure out who your friends are and who your circle is. There have been certain people where I have loved and they have like just shot back, or I've heard things like the gossip is crazy and just things like that. Like, "Oh, like they're not going to last. It's not going to be a thing." One of Ethan's football buddies did email him. Like the one girl who like threatened to email him, I caught her before she did it. Like,
Wait, email him what?
He was like, "Dude, I just found your girlfriend on Mutual. I'm going to like take her," like as a joke. And Ethan emailed me and was like, "Hey, I don't care." He didn't know at that point that I was on Mutual. I didn't feel like he needed to know.
Right.
Didn't he tell you that?
He told me not to tell him.
Right,
but
right.
Yeah, I found out that one of his football buddies like emailed him, and I was like, "Oh." I did not reach out to this football buddy because I did not know him and I didn't want to cause anything.
Did you swipe up on him though?
No, I did not. No. I do not swipe up on anyone that is from Ethan's area.
That's so funny. Well, and then you said a girl was gonna email your boyfriend?
Yeah, so I got a text from someone.
Dude, these girls are ruthless.
They're
That's
brutal.
insane.
The craziest part is that she was in the same situation as I was. This was a girl that I had been kind of talking about my experiences to and sharing. And it was weird because I had been praying like a week prior, and I got almost what I felt like was a prompting to reach out to her. And then clearly that was shut down because the next day I found out that she was basically in like a cosmetology class, and one of the girls from my ward who knew my situation and who understood my situation was like, "Hey, so-and-so is saying this about you. She is going to email Ethan tonight this picture of you that she saw you out on a like double date with another guy." And I was like,
"Did she take a picture of you?"
She got it. She either took it or she got it from someone.
Shut up.
And so I was so sad because I don't know if I told you guys this, but I actually started I started hair school 2 days after Ethan, or while Ethan was leaving. So I was going through two things at the same time. And so I got this message in class, and I walked out of class and I started freaking out. And at that point, that was like, I felt so lonely because I had not really talked to my mom about anything yet.
Yeah.
And it was so new. And it was the first date that I had been on since Ethan had left. So it was already a really crazy experience for me. And I was like, is this what it's going to be like the next 2 years? And so I ended up texting her, and this long thing, which was, looking back, it was so dramatic. Like, I will fully say that. But I was like, I don't understand. And I just kept saying that to her. I was like, I don't understand, you know? Like, this
she
is my
knew
journey.
your situation with him and that he had like been on board with you dating other people. So
yeah, she knew him. We had gone out on double dates together, which is crazy because
double standard is crazy.
Yeah.
Really.
And she's still in the same situation as I am. She still is. And she was like, well, and then her excuse, or like her justifying of it
Cop-out.
was just, well, you guys post a lot more than me and so did on social media. So I feel like that's wrong for you to do so.
What's that got to do with it?
Which I don't have a
my
following on
gosh.
social media. It's just friends and family. Like I didn't, like everybody knew him and I wanted to show him off. He's my boyfriend. I loved him. So, yeah, so that was wild for me. It was crazy.
I can't even
This Utah drama.
imagine.
This girl, Utah drama over here.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
I'm so glad I'm out of Provo.
Yeah, for- no,
that,
like,
is,
low-key.
that is crazy.
High-key.
Mhm.
I just have so much respect from you because even just like hearing you talk about this, like you are so mature. It sounds like you guys handled it so well, and like prayer was such a big part of the decision, and the fact that you're handling all this criticism, like my heart breaks for you because you don't deserve. Like it's already hard enough having a boyfriend on a mission away, like when he was your best friend and everything. So how are you dealing? Like how do you deal with, I guess, just being alone and left home while your boyfriend is out serving the Lord?
It is such a back and forth thing. So like when Ethan left, I really found my support system. And I think that truly is the best thing that you can do. I found like my best friend in hair school. Like I found my buddy. I went through my parents a lot, which my parents, I didn't kind of talk about it with them right away because, they loved him so much. And my mom really, honestly, I think went through it almost as much as I did. And in fact, when I told her I was coming on this podcast, I was like, hey, I have to tell you something. And she goes, is Ethan coming home? That was her first question. But, but it is like, it's such a back and forth because like dating itself is really hard. Because it's like, sometimes I'll go on a date and I'll feel so guilty and I'll be like, what am I doing? And then other times I go on dates and I'm like, this is what I should be doing, you know? So it's the constant back and forth. And him and I had been dating for a year before he left. And literally the second he shut the door after we said goodbye, I pretty much, like, I just fell to the ground. And I was like, it was the most heartbreaking day. And I had to go to school the next day. And I was like, I didn't really know how to function. Because the next day you like, at least the weeks after they leave, you have to learn how to function without like talking to them or communicating. Because Ethan and I, we did everything together.
Yeah.
He like anything, like every single time something was bad, I told him. Happy, I told him. He was over at my house 98% of the time. We got him food. He had his own little section in the cabinets. Like we worked out together almost every day. And so it was really a process of like learning how to like live without who I feel like is the love of my life. And so it was really emotional. And I got so lucky, especially at school, to like have teachers who they're not LDS, or some of them are, some of them aren't, but they really supported me in that process. And they were like, hey, if you need to step out for a second, it's totally up to you. There are moments I just call my mom bawling. It was like, because I had just moved out too. So, and I was meeting all these new people. I had all new roommates. No one kind of knew. And
I'm going through it, man.
Yeah.
Really?
And also, though, you don't want to be negative towards, like, I didn't want to talk to him about it on Mondays because I didn't want to, like, I want him to know that I'm proud of him. Like, I don't want him to be like, I'm going through so much.
Right.
And it's something that I learned how to do. But yeah, it's just, even now, it's an everyday cycle. Every single Monday is so hard. P-days suck for any missionary, whether you're a boy or girl who have a sister and elder out. P-days are so hard. So I think throughout the process, I really found my support system. I've lost a lot of friends, but I've been okay with it because like they've shown their true colors. Like when someone doesn't agree with you, that's when they show you their true colors. And that's what I've learned. So right now I feel like I've kind of gotten to, like, it's been like good really recently. He's very supportive, and I got to talk to him over Christmas and FaceTime him. And my mom definitely came in and stole the phone from me the second he got on the phone. She came to the room. She's like, is that Ethan on the phone? And then she like came and we were talking to him, and it was so fun. But yeah, so every day is really just a back and forth. There are some nights where I go to bed just like crying and sobbing and I want him there. And but then there are other nights where I'm like, okay, I'm okay. So and because everybody tells you it goes by fast, and that is not true. For the first 6 months, like, it is not true. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, the mission felt great. Well, it felt great after they got home. It felt fast after they get home. But for me, even the first 2 weeks, I was like, this feels like he's been out for a month. I never want to do this again. But now it's like steady, which is nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
I hope it gets easier with time too.
Yeah.
I want to get to some of these like questions and responses, because we know that there are some people who are just anti like waiting for missionaries. And I want to get your take on some things. So one thing is some people in the church have advised like no serious dating before you're an adult or before you're 18, I think it is.
16,
I don't know.
You can start going on dates.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're like, keep it casual, do like group stuff.
Dates, yeah,
And I
uneven
think,
number, whatever it is.
I wonder if like part of that, I mean, obviously like for maturity reasons, like there's a lot of reasons for that, but I wonder if any part of that is also like, don't date seriously before a mission. What would your take be on that? Like if you guys hadn't started dating, like it wouldn't have been this hard thing that you're both dealing with now. You know what I mean? So like what's your opinion on that?
I think it's so situational. But for me, I just with missionaries in general, it is a hard thing, and you kind of have to, it takes a lot of prayer, it takes a lot of time and dedication. So if you're not someone who wants to go through that, then if you know he's going out on a mission, don't do it. Like seriously, but I really felt like God like put him in my life for a reason. He helped me through a lot while we were dating, and this is a trial that I'm going through for a reason. I'm becoming stronger every day because of it. And so when people are like, don't wait for a missionary, I'm like, it totally depends on you and the missionary's relationship. Because I really do think sometimes God does put us through these things to like get us through it and learn, and also to reach out to other people. I've like girls have reached out to me, I've reached out to them, and just it's been a way of like I've made tons of friends from it. And so when people are like, yeah, don't wait for a missionary, it's totally situational, and if they don't have a missionary, they don't understand.
Right. It's like such a niche thing, and I'm so glad you've been able to find people who like can connect with you and relate to you about that. Okay, what about this one? People can argue like, well, he's gonna change so much on his mission. Like, what if you don't like him anymore, or he doesn't like you anymore, just with like how different he's become as a missionary?
Yeah, that is something that I do frequently think about. I feel like I know Ethan really well, but I honestly know that like I have two brothers who's been on missions, and they both came back like weird. Like I was like, like I came back, my oldest brother was like in my room folding my laundry like the day after he got back because he didn't know what to do with himself.
What the heck?
But honestly, to me that can't be a bad thing, because if anything, they're coming back more spiritual, you know? So yeah, I think Ethan will come back a little bit different for sure. And that's, I think, when the trial period will maybe come, as long as like if I'm not dating someone and he's willing to do that, of like, we're going to see if we can work together and we can work through this change. So if people are saying like, oh, what if they change? Well, then that's something that you guys will go through together. And if you're willing to go through it together, if you're not, then you're not.
Totally.
Yeah. And another along those lines, okay, so like I'm not anti-waiting, but I'm also not for it either. I'm really up in the air, because when I was on my mission, I saw both sides, right?
Absolutely.
The goods and the bads. I've had missionaries crying in my room because they cut it off with their girlfriend because Heavenly Father told them like, you got to focus on your mission, right? And it hurt them, and then they ended up not getting together, right? And then maybe you come back from your mission, realize that, yeah, like you changed, you're different. And I think that was it's like an older generation thing where they were strict on not dating before the mission, right? I wasn't allowed to either. So, and then what do you say to people who think that, you know, having a significant other, dating, whatever on the mission, like it could be a distraction? Because to their point, I'm not trying to pick sides here, but to their point, I have seen that become a major distraction in missionary work. Like you are like worrying about home, right? And when you're a missionary, you promise to leave aside all worldly things, home things, right? So girlfriends / boyfriends can be a distraction on your mission. What do you have to say to people who say that?
Yeah, that was actually one of my biggest worries before Ethan left, because when you have such a strong relationship with someone and then you go, like, it's hard to kind of just cut it off, like cold turkey. And so him and I think just also having those conversations are really important. And also just following the mission rules, I think is really important too. Every mission president is different. I've never gone on mission, but that's just kind of what I assume. Every mission president is different. And as long as you're following the rules, but also like if you're like a missionary boyfriend or girlfriend, or you are the missionary, like I totally understand if a guy's like, this is way too distracting for me, And then at that point, you just kind of have to see what happens when they come home. I always told Ethan, I was like, if this is too big of a distraction for you, I will be okay with that.
Wow.
I will. And even now I think about it all the time, and I ask him frequently. I probably sound so insecure when I ask him because every time he's like, Mia, stop, it's fine. Like, I tell him all the time, I'm like, please tell me if this is something that is hurting you or if there's anything I can do. If you only want to email me once a month, I will be okay with it. If you don't want to email me, period. So I think that's one of the harder things as a missionary girlfriend is you have to prep yourself for that. Or boyfriend if you have a sister out.
Yeah.
Speaking of prepping yourself, okay, this one's a little tough. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but like I said, like I just know so many sad stories. And so, and it's heartbreak. It really is. Because, we're all figuring out love, life, whatever you want to call it. If you're dating around, let's say you're dating around. This is like one of the what ifs or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say are you prepared? Like, what if you start dating someone and you're like, crap.
Yeah.
I like this boy. And then you start praying about it. And you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh my
like
God.
this might be the boy for me.
Yeah.
Have you thought about it? What are you gonna do?
Because I've been going on dates and stuff, and there have been times through, like, I haven't gone on a ton, but like there's actually been one person that I've like really thought about. And like that goes through mine, and it was really emotional for me because he just I think he just left, even though it's been 4 or 5 months. But that is something that only time will tell. And I like try and prep myself for that too, and I prepped him for that. I was like, because I was like, hey, if you're telling me to date, you also have to understand that this might be a possibility. Yeah. So because I let him decide, I was like, I will wait for you diligently, but if you're telling me that I can date while you're gone, then you have to be willing to understand if God has other plans for the both of us.
I love that.
And so, like, I always say God's plan and God's timing. And so with me, like going out on dates, if I have ever liked a guy, I pray about it first and foremost. And he always, like he said, date with intention. And so I will go and I will see if this is someone that I want to like look into. I haven't gotten to the point where like I've had a boyfriend. Sure. But yeah, and I always told myself, like, hey, if I get a boyfriend, then I better be marrying this dude, because I was like, I better be ready. But also, Ethan and I did decide that no matter what, even if I am dating someone when he gets on, I'm not getting married until he gets home.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna. So, but that's also something that I tell guys right away, because a lot of the people that I have been going out with are return missionaries, and return missionaries a lot of time are like, I want to be wifed up.
Hey, they applying that pressure. Hey, they're not messing around though. You know, they did their time. No, these boys are hounded. Like they know what they want here. So what was I gonna say? I like what you said, in God's timing, you know. And something I like to say is, like, if it's meant to be, then it'll be, right? If it's not meant to be, then it wasn't in God's timing or his plan. You know what I mean? Like, I just, there's certain experiences like kind of similar to this that, you know, have happened that I've been like so close to. And it's like you want it so much and you think it's going to happen. And then when it doesn't, you're like, yo, what? Like, but everything was aligning. Like it was God's plan, God's timing. And then it just doesn't work out. And you're like, like, what's going on? But I think what you guys are doing is perfect. Having that open communication, having that, like, you know, trust that God knows what he's doing with your relationship.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, like, the little picture of, like, God holding, like, there's, like, a little teddy bear.
Yes, I know. The teddy bear meme. Can we throw that up? Throw that up there. It's going to be right here. It's such a beautiful picture.
I think about that all the time, because I'm like, if that does happen to me, like, God gave me Ethan, and I'm so thankful. Ethan and I went through so much together when we were dating, but that just means that he has that bigger and better thing behind his back for the both of us. Yeah. And so that, like, when people ask me that, I always, like, reference that picture, because I'm like, there's, like, God always has something better if he takes something away. Because that was one of the things I was like, when Ethan left, I was bawling. I was like, why would you give me something so good and then take it away from me? Like, why would you allow me to meet Ethan before his mission? Yeah. Why would you allow me to do this? And it's something that I still sometimes think about, but you just have to have those words in your head. Like, if it's like, you know, God's plan and God's timing.
Love it.
Yeah.
So that's such a beautiful perspective. I'm so proud of you. Like literally just like
very mature too.
Yes, so mature. And like, I feel like it's so much harder to just say, okay, it's in God's plan. It's his timing. Like, it's so much easier to be like, okay, this is my plan. This is what I'm doing. Yeah. But like, you're doing the right thing. And I'm so proud of you. So thank you so much for talking about that and giving us more insight into that situation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we want to do something fun. We're going to do a little quiz. But it's not a quiz like you can be right or wrong. It's going to be a quiz between you two to see if you have.
I liked you. I really did. But you know what? I gotta
Yeah.
defend my honor because I lost
You know
last
what?
time.
Okay.
I lost my
This is
last
my first
quiz.
time here. I plan to.
Yeah, she's the
She's
Rakita,
gonna
but I've
kill
been
it.
here. I've been in this stage before. Competitive. No mercy.
no.
What's this quiz?
We are gonna see if you have a Utah Mormon, or I should say Utah member accent. So when did you move here?
I moved here about 2.5 years ago.
Okay, you've lived here your whole life,
My whole life, yeah.
but you're poly, so like
Mind
we
you, I
don't
am
know if
Polynesian,
you-
so my
Okay.
dialect, whatever, my vocabulary might be a little skewed, but
yeah,
it's so weird that people think we have an accent.
we do.
I really don't think
we
we-
do though.
Are you for real?
I think
For real.
living in California, there are certain things that Utahns say
Uh-huh.
that I'm like, why do you say that?
Do your
Yep.
best Cali accent.
Well, I am from California.
Yeah. Also, do it.
It's just how she talks.
that's how
This
you
is
talk.
how I talk.
How
But
I think Cali girls are like, yeah, so literally.
that's Southern
like,
California.
See, but
That's
it's so
that's like
SoCal.
Valley girl, like, hey, how are you doing today?
Right.
Like, you know, like,
Right.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
different.
I know like the Western United States, or like, you know, like the Texas y'all, like, you know, they talk like it. And then like the Jersey accent. I can't do
Or
it.
they don't have a very big vocabulary too, because
Yeah.
especially Southern California, like nothing against people in Southern California, I love them, but they go to the beach all the time and like they live like a certain lifestyle. I do
Yeah.
feel like it's very luxury, it's very chill,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I definitely feel like they do have an accent, but thankfully I feel like I don't have it.
Mimi,
That's
you
so
really
funny.
believe that Utahns have a Utah accent?
They for sure do. You'll see when we do
Okay,
this.
I'm curious.
It's going to pull up specific words and phrases. I'll do it too because I've lived here since I've lived here for like over
Yeah.
10 years.
No, you're
Yeah.
a native.
So let's pull this up.
What is this?
Do you have a Utah Mormon accent? That should say member, by the way. This is from 2017. So, okay. First up, how do you pronounce forever?
Forever?
I just said it, forever. I think I do it this way. Forever?
Forever?
Oh, I definitely do it the same way.
No, I'm the first
You
way.
do it.
Forever.
You said
Families can be together forever. Whoa! Whoa! No, pause. No, that's weird.
okay, so you're forever.
Am
No.
I?
I think you said forever.
No, I definitely said forever.
Yeah.
You're switching it up.
Wow.
No,
right
I promise you. No, I think I'm forever.
Yeah. You
Forever.
said forever.
Families
And
can
then
be
you
together
said
I said forever. Yeah.
forever. Okay.
Wow.
I
didn't
wonder if
know
that's
that.
the Utah. Oh, it
They're
might
not-
not. It's not going to tell us till the end.
Okay.
Oh, word.
I wonder if that's the Utah way, though. Okay. How do you pronounce thinking? Okay, well, I just thinking. Okay, not
Thinking. Thinking, not thinking.
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 Yeah. I think
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, thinking for sure.
How do you
It's
pronounce?
hurting my brain thinking. I don't know.
I know. I'm like,
How do you pronounce mountain?
Mountain?
oh, okay.
Mountain?
You don't say the T.
You don't say the T?
Mountain? No.
That
Why?
is something that I did notice when I moved to Utah. No one says the T in mountain.
Oh, I hate it.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yes.
Mountain?
This
It's
is
just a mountain. No, pause.
But-
Wait. No, is that it doesn't mean I have an accent. Just because I don't pronounce
Where
the
did the
T.
T go? It's not meant to be silent.
Mountain.
That is literally the Utah accent. Mountain.
I've been here too long, bro.
You have.
What the heck, mountain?
You say mountain.
I say mountain.
Okay.
What the freak?
Oh, wait. Mount.
What is
Oh,
that?
whoa,
Mountain? No, no one's saying
No.
mountain. No one's saying
That
mountain.
is how you said it.
No, I say
A little
wait.
bit.
You said mountain with no T.
Mountain.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how
No
they
T,
spelled
that's
it.
how
Okay,
you
that's
did
not
it.
how the spelling was in my head.
Did you say 10 or
No,
10?
Mountain.
Mountain.
Mountain, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay,
definitely
yeah.
the last one. Sorry, I just didn't think it.
Tautai is.
What is going
Tautai
on,
is gonna
bro?
have the accent.
No.
Okay. Oh, how do you pronounce grocery?
Grocery?
Uh-huh.
Like how it's spelled?
Okay.
Grocery?
Oh, but do you say like grocery or grocery?
No, that's weird.
I say grocery.
Grocery.
Yeah.
Yeah, grocery. I've
No, I'm
heard
not weird.
here.
Yeah, it's
I've
grocery.
heard that. Okay. Grocery. How do you pronounce crayon?
Crayon.
I say crayon.
Crayon.
Crayon?
Crayon.
Crayon.
That's cute.
I
That's
Do you want to
crayons.
color with crayons? That's how, like
Crayon. So you're on and I'm on. Crayon? Does that say crayon?
That's how some people
Yeah.
like crayon.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No,
That's how
they're-
I say it.
Crayon?
Well, like hers meant worse.
Do you want to
Like-
play? Like, do you want to color with crayons?
What is that? It's a crayon. It's whatever. Next.
The
I'm
Y.
done.
The
I'm
Y
done.
is gone. First the
I'm
T is
done,
gone.
I'm
Now the
done.
Y.
I'm literally
Okay.
done.
I'm doing. Oh no, I'm gonna answer as. Okay, we'll see. We'll say crayon. We'll say how you did
Hey,
it.
no, but nobody says
Okay.
crayon.
No, I swear, if you go to like Payson, Utah, or like one of those
Payson is
places,
so out there, man.
like that's what I'm
I
saying
consider
though.
Payson out there, bro.
Oh, okay. How do you pronounce measure?
Measure.
Measure.
Okay, this
Measure?
one's Measure.
Oh, I'd be hearing some of the Relief Society be
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's
I
the
do.
older generation.
It is
I
older
swear, and
generation.
and more out in the boonies in Utah.
Yeah.
I feel like because you lived in Kaysville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, and American Fork is not too out there.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce you? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you. It's you.
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 I don't know.
Yeah. These are a bit
Oh,
exaggerated. Okay. Oh, this one is so real. How do you pronounce sail? No, this is such a real one.
What? Sale.
Sale?
Some people say sell. Like I bought this on
Oh.
sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On sale.
I bought these crayons on sell.
I went and bought these crayons on sale
Uh-huh.
when I was thinking on the mountain. What the heck is
Literally, that's
pause.
the Utah accent right there.
That is so funny. Actually.
Sell? Really? No,
Yes.
sale.
Oh wait, I hear it all the time.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Once again, probably older generation or what?
No, like
What
people
the
our age, literally.
Oh,
Okay.
this has our quote, Young Women's Theme.
Oh, okay.
We are daughters
Wait.
of. I used to have this memorized.
Oh, how do you pronounce?
I got bored.
Mirror.
How do you
Mirror.
mirror?
Mirror.
Mirror?
Not
Mirror?
myrrh.
Myrrh?
Yeah.
Myrrh.
I've never heard someone say,
Frankincense and
I'm
myrrh?
going to look
What
in the
the
mirror
frick?
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Myrrh.
I've never heard of that
I've
one.
only heard myrrh
Okay.
before. That's about it.
Oh, this one is too real. How do you
Oh,
pronounce
okay.
picture?
Picture.
Picture.
Wait, say it again.
Picture.
Okay.
Stop
No,
it. Don't play with me right now. No,
you said
do
I
not
thought you said
gaslight me
it.
right now.
I'm winning.
Wait, no, I'm winning. Wait,
No, you got Well, you got mountain wrong. You got
wait,
crayon
wrong?
Yeah.
How is it wrong if that's how it's...
Wrong means you have the accent.
Oh, wrong is have the accent.
Oh.
Okay.
Right?
She's from
'Cause I
Cali.
think
so.
It's true.
Picture. People say picture.
Yes.
That's like a little kid.
Yeah, I mean it's a
No, it's not an
thing.
accent. That's like
No.
for like little toddlers.
I'm
done.
Real.
Next.
It's real. Okay.
No
oh,
way.
see, okay. We still have an investigator accent. We kind of all did this together, but
Mhm.
I wonder, let me change. No, yeah, we had like one wrong on this.
Dude.
I don't think any of us have the real Utah accent.
No.
There's a few iffy
Measure
things.
is such a good one though. That didn't we do measure? Measure?
Wait. Yeah.
Measure that one.
Measure,
Oh my gosh, the white
uh-huh.
ladies in my wood. Oh my goodness.
Literally.
Yeah.
Or picture. I swear I hear that. Or sell. Like,
Sal.
Yeah.
That's a California thing for sure.
Have you guys heard the
Really?
one where
Yeah.
like instead of be like, yeah, when he was a little boy, I saw him or I seen him. They're like, I seen him. No, that's when I'm like,
Wait,
I seen
really?
him. I'm like, yeah, no, listen. I'm like, seen him, not seen him. Trust, it
Oh my
happens.
gosh.
It happens for real. I'm
oh
telling
my
you.
gosh,
Anyways.
next time we go to our family words, we're going to be like listening.
Yeah,
For real.
now,
How
seriously.
everyone is talking.
Church this Sunday, I'm
Say
going to
that
be
again.
listening real hard.
For real.
That was fun, guys. Speaking of Utah culture, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. So you moved here when you were 16, you
Yeah.
said, from California.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any like opinions of Utah before you moved here?
I think more from other people. Like, they were like, oh, you're moving to Utah? Like, dang. And I was like, oh, that's like the land of the Mormons. That's what I kept hearing.
Yeah.
Or the land of the members. And so I was very interested, but I mean, there's so many things people will just be like, oh, there's like also the term Jack Mormon. I don't know if that,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Jack Mormon gets thrown around a lot. They're like, oh, that's just where all the Jack Mormons are. And
Interesting.
so that's what I heard a lot, like about like from people before I moved here. But we moved here like very fast. Like we didn't really know, and it just kind of happened really fast. But yeah, when I told my friends, they're like, oh, dang, you're going to the land of the Jack Mormons. And I was like, oh gosh, I didn't know what that meant until I got here. But yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And Tautai, you've lived here your whole life.
Yep.
So I want to ask you, obviously there are a lot of Utah haters out there who, and I mean, some complaints are like valid and like rightfully so, have your own opinions. But I'm wondering if as a Utah living person, do you feel like Utah's actually as bad as people make it out to be?
It depends on your perspective about it and like what we're initially talking about. Everyone loves Utah for the weather. Everyone loves Utah for, the seasons that we get and everything. But like as far as like a culture wise, kind of like you said, I'll agree. We're weird. Like our beliefs are weird. We have BYU Provo we get made fun of all the time.
Yeah.
But like you really hear both sides of the spectrum. It's either Utah, oh my gosh, everybody is so nice, or everybody's judgmental.
Yeah.
Everybody's willing to help you. They're such a great people. Or oh yeah, don't talk to them because they're weird, right?
Right.
And it was the first time when I moved out of Utah, I kind of saw the, for lack of better terms, bad side, toxic side of Utah. I'm like, oh my gosh, there is a lot of pressure to serve a mission. Oh my gosh, there is a lot of guilt and shame if you mess up if you're not taking the sacrament. Outside of Utah, it's not like that at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially out of country too, you know. So I definitely think it's called a bubble for a reason. And as much hate as we get, bro, like you guys can come see for yourselves. That way, like, don't just trust what TikTok is telling you or what the Exmos are saying. Like, I love it here.
Yeah.
Utah's the place to be. It's so fun here. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Especially when your people are here, not just like members, but like family as well and stuff. Like, of course, everyone's gonna hate on Utah for some reason. What's funny is if you move to Utah and hate on it, then we have an issue. Like, then we have beef.
Yeah.
It's like, leave maybe.
Yeah.
Like, why are you on TikTok talking about how weird the culture is? Then leave.
Yep.
Go
if
pay.
you hate BYU, don't go there.
If you're hating on your school, then don't go there. Exactly. If you want to pay the Cali prices, then go back to Cali.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you
For
here.
sure.
We don't want y'all here. Take y'all Teslas back. Like, we got our own money here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just kind of went off a little bit.
No,
but
I'm a
you're
hard defender of the
valid.
801. You know what I mean?
no,
Like,
literally.
801's like the spot to be for real.
No, totally. But you're right. It is a bubble. Like, I feel like Utah's unlike anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, probably. I'm wondering if you experienced any culture shock, like when you moved here, and like, were there any specific things that were so weird?
Yeah, okay, one thing, I don't even know if Utahns realize, you guys have so many drive-thrus. Have you guys noticed that? Okay,
Drive-thrus?
I came here and I was like, why does Little Caesars have a drive-thru? Like, in
Oh,
Cali,
that's so true.
yeah. Little Caesars, like Subway. Also,
Costa Vida.
obviously, soda shops weren't a thing. I think they put a few in California since, but soda shops were a big culture shock, but I loved it.
Okay.
But yeah, I just literally, one of the first things I noticed is there's a drive-thru for everything. And I was like, this is amazing. But
Did you notice our streets too?
like just how wide they are? Yeah.
Compared to like other, yeah, that's another thing. Like a lot of outsiders say, like, your roads are massive.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought you were going to say like the infrastructure and the way the roads are set up. Like, there's not
the grid,
street names,
grid
but
system?
the grid system is so good. It's so good.
Yeah. But drive-thrus are
That's funny. I've never heard that one before.
I haven't either.
I was like, no one talks about
No,
this.
you're so right.
I was
though.
in the Panera I was at Panera and I was like, there's a drive-thru. I used to go to Panera all the time in California. And I had to
Go
walk
in.
inside every time. But I was like, this is so convenient.
So good.
Yeah.
So-
The bubble is different. I'm not about to sit here on this podcast and be like, oh, we're like, you know, just like every other city in America. It's like, obviously not. We're a bubble for a reason. But like, if you're from here now and like you've been here for a while, so have you, like, have pride that you're a Utahn. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, we have so much good stuff here. The church
my gosh,
does
yeah.
such good stuff for not just people in Utah, but everywhere.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I think it's so interesting because like I asked our audience the same question, like if you lived outside of Utah, what opinions did you have? And if you live in Utah, like what are your experiences been? And like from outside of Utah, so many people were like, well, they're so judgy and keeping up with the Joneses and they're so intense. But then on the other hand, but they're lax about other things and they like pick and choose their commandments. And so I think honestly, it depends on the person.
Yeah.
For
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
The thing with Utah is there's so many members that live here. And so you're going to experience more members than you've met outside of Utah. So there's going to be more people who are judgy. There are going to be more people who are lax and picking and choosing their commandments because there's just more members. Like I feel like when there's more members, you're going to experience more different types of people.
Absolutely.
And so it really just depends on the people. I feel like you can't just say Utah is good or Utah is bad. Like it depends on the people you're around and your experience and honestly what you put into it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I personally, I like living in Utah. I moved here when I was like 14 and I was excited to come here because I was the only member at my school. Well, there was one other, but and so I was excited to come here and like be surrounded by other members and people like me and not have to deal with like peer pressure and things like I'm sure you dealt with too. But there's pros and cons to everywhere.
For sure.
Amen.
So it's interesting. I want to ask you this too, as far as culture shock. Utah has really unique names.
Yes.
Did
Oh,
you
no,
did
please
you
no.
notice
Please
that? Like when
Like
you
children, like
moved-
names of people?
Yeah,
Or like
I mean cities too.
cities, yeah.
So what was like? Did you have any experiences where you're like, that's
Please
the
no.
weirdest name I've ever heard?
I laughed a lot at street names, like because a lot of like even like towns and places and shit,
Lehigh,
Lehigh,
Lehigh, yeah.
things like that. But also like people here name their kids so like
Michaela Lynn.
or it's like, what's that? There's this one girl on TikTok, she Chicken Lee, and
Jane, I love her.
She's so cute. She when she talks about like the Utah culture and stuff, she like fakes her kids. At least I hope that's not her kid's name.
I don't think it's real.
There's like Chicken Lee, and what's the other one?
I don't remember. I only know Chicken Lee.
But she's like kind of making fun of it a little bit.
The worst one I've heard, Absidy.
Oh,
I've never heard that one.
I know.
Do you know how to spell it?
I do.
Spell it.
ABCDE.
I'm out.
What?
Absidy. Her name's Absidy.
You
and how do you spell her name?
You actually met an Absidy?
No, I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes.
ABCDE.
Yeah.
Absidy.
It's wild. Names here are crazy. Like, because I feel like everybody wants to be different or like cute or
low key, but like it's like they can't decide on 2 names, so they just mesh them together. It's like, bro,
or just the alphabet, you know.
Hey, real. Yeah.
No, I thought it was so weird when I moved here too. Like, I didn't know many McKensleys because I'm like older. I think that's like a new baby thing. But I heard names I'd never heard of before, like the name Callie. I never heard of before, and there's so many Callies here. Like, I know so many, and then also church history names like Hiram and like Dallin, or even like Bible names. Like, that was not a thing in Michigan. I was like, what is going on here? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was fun kind of experiencing that because my first boyfriend when I got here, his name was Hiram.
Which is like such a cute name, but like,
no, it was fine. Like, I remember telling my parents his name, and my dad just starts busting up laughing. So his name's Hiram. Yeah.
That's how you know your well, because there's Jack, then there's Molly, right? There's Peter Priesthood. We have a bunch of like those little nicknames for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
That was kind of fun.
Let me ask you this too. I feel like it's very common that people say there's Utah members of the church and then there's like normal members of the church. If you had to explain the difference between the two, how would you do so?
The difference between, so I feel like I experienced like the difference right when I moved here. So the best way that I think I can describe it is like the term Jack Mormon. So when I was in California, you were either LDS or you were not. Like, that's kind of the realm that I grew up in. Yeah. And so when I got here, you try your best not to be judgy, but then there are also things that you notice about people that are like, okay, wait, they aren't members of the church. Right. In California, it's very black and white. Like, if you saw someone like maybe had like a garment line, or if they went to church, they followed all the standards and things like that. But here, I noticed that some of my friends, they'd do certain things, but then they'd go to church every Sunday. And so it was something that I had to learn how to adapt to. And because you don't want to judge, but it was more curiosity for me. Because I'm like, wait, how does this work? And it's something that I talk to my parents a lot about when I first moved here. Because there's like a fine line between the judgment and between just having genuine curiosity. Right. So I think that what I can like chalk it up to is LDS or member of the church or whatever you want to call it here means different things to everybody. The church, like, just with some of my friends, like, the church will never mean the same thing to me as it does another person. Someone might do certain things that you might not believe in doing, and vice versa. And so now I just try my best not to assume, because you never know. Like, you could go out and see someone partying and doing certain things, but then they'll show up to church on Sunday. And it's just something that I learned a lot about when I like got on my own and went to college and things like that. Or because in California, like, if someone was drinking, you'd be like, there's no way they're a member of the church. Right. There's no way. But when I got here, like, I had met certain people, which to each their own, but who would like go out to parties and then drink and then go take the sacrament on Sunday. It's
Chardonnay on Saturday, YSA on Sunday. That's a bar. No, but she's right though. Like, even with our bubble, like, you would be surprised so much rebellious stuff that's going on within our own. That's what other people don't understand. Like, holy city bubble. Like, no. Like, if you're in it, like, bro, there's like the whole Nickmo and the soaking and the everything that's going on. It's real stuff. Yeah. And like, oh, she's right. Clubs. Like, I'm not putting anyone on blast because, like she said, to each their own. Yeah. Clubs on Saturday. Okay, cool. Drinking on Saturday. Cool. Thank you for coming to church on Sunday, though. So it's an interesting dynamic we got going on with our generation. But kind of coming back to it, which is the happiest state in the U.S.? Utah. Where's the best place to start a business? Utah. Who has the best economy? Utah. Look it up. You know what I mean? And I have a hard time believing that it's not like the reason for that is a big part of it is because of the church. Like, prove me wrong.
No,
you know
1,000%. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think it's so interesting because I feel like people assume it's easier living in Utah because we're surrounded by members. Someone even said that.
Yeah.
And so I would argue, though, that it's not easier. It can be harder.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved here when I was 14, I remember before I moved, my bishop pulled me aside and he's like, I want you to know in Utah, like there's obviously going to be a ton more members.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm so excited. He's like, but I don't want your testimony to falter when you're there. And I was like, that's weird because I thought it would be easier, you know, being around other
good
people
advice.
like me. But he said, you can't base your decisions based on the other members there. It needs to be between you and God. And you can't just go with what everyone else is doing because everyone else is a member. Like you really have to make those decisions for yourself, just like you said. And so I think that it's a great focus the church has had to with like the New for Strength of Youth. So much of it is based on personal revelation, and obviously we don't want to judge others, but I think we just need to, like, it's not necessarily easier living amongst a ton of other members because everyone's on their own path and going to make their own decisions. It needs to be between you and the Lord.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like just living here is, I never assume anyone's LDS anymore because you never know, because they just what journey they're on.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. There were a ton of submissions. Like people, this is a very hot topic. Like Utah.
We could just do like a whole segment like just on Utah for real.
Literally. But it seems like overall people in Utah, it's like, you know, a love-hate relationship because there's pros and cons of living everywhere. So anything else from you on your thoughts on living in Utah? Like, do you think you'll stay here long term?
I love it here.
Yeah.
I personally, I was the one who found like the place. Like I was the one who got my parents to move here. Really?
Oh,
like,
really?
I had been begging them for years because my siblings had already moved out into college here, and I loved coming and visiting. And in California, I felt like I was in such a bubble because I think that my parents really wanted to keep me and protect me from a lot of the worldly things that they knew were around me, which so thankful for now. Didn't understand when I was younger, but so thankful for now. But yeah, I genuinely love it here. If I have to move, I will be really sad. I want to raise kids here. That is my biggest thing. I want to raise my kids here because I think it's just such a good place to live. And I mean, think about like even like resources in the church. You have such a good community and things like even now being in a YSA ward, the fact that if I ever needed a blessing and my parents weren't around, I could just call up someone. If I ever needed someone to help me come move, I got the missionaries, or I've got people in my ward. I've got my bishop. If I ever feel like I did something wrong, I have a support system outside of my family, which I think is incredible. So.
How is that not appealing to a non-member too to move here, right? Judgment aside, like you don't have to talk to the missionaries like every time they're over, but like the church will never deny anyone help. Like stuff that she's saying, resources, right? You know what I mean?
No, it's so true. I think the biggest argument that people have against Utah is that people can be judgmental and it can be toxic. Like, have either of you experienced that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like being a content creator, right? Like, and having members of my own church disagree with what I'm doing, like I'll push past the judgment, you know, and I know that's harder for a lot of people, like to grow thick skin like that. But like, of course, like the toxicity comes up, of course the judgment comes, but like if you can just like hone in your personality and your feelings and you can like push that to the side, then Utah's at your disposal. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I know it's hard. Trust me, like it's easy for me to say because I've done it, but like like people have feelings, you know, and like I'm not going to church anymore because this and that, right? Like but like the resources there and like the love there, like it's hard to push those things aside and like sweep them under the rug. I understand.
No, it is. It is. And so if you're there, like we see you and your feelings are so valid, because I know of many people who have had like negative experiences within the church in Utah. But I think that just like you said, if you're willing to push past it and think about like, why are we going to church? Why am I here? I think we've probably all gone through phases where we're like, I don't fit in at church, or I feel like I don't really have friends at church. And it's like, we keep going. Why? Because our testimony of Jesus Christ, and we go for him. So I think it, again, is a lot easier said than done. Sure. But with Utah, there's pros and cons. For me, pros outweigh the cons. Yeah. And so I'm happy to be here. Sounds like you guys are too. So
100.
Let's hit it. Yeah, for real. I love that. So thank you so much for coming on. This went by so fast. Like you were so great to talk to.
Thank you.
Is there any like social media you want to plug and like where people can keep up with you?
Listen, people, come use me for hair. Literally.
Yes.
Please.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
If you need your hair extensions or your hair done, come to JZ Styles Academy. I will happily do it for you.
But yay! TikTok or anything you want to promote?
I mean, if you want to follow me on TikTok, Mia Schaus too. I talk a lot about my missionary on there.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know.
No, you were so great. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you so much
on
for
and
having
being
me.
so open about your experiences.
Yeah.
Truly, I think will help a lot of people just at least gaining more understanding and perspective on the situation.
And that's the goal too, is like, I know there are other girls going through what I'm going through, and like, they're not alone. You're not alone. And there is such a huge support system in Utah and out of the state.
Yeah.
So just know that I'm here, girl. DM me.
Period.
You're the best. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.